Welcome to the FPL USA Press Play Podcast. You got Bucks and Brian hitting the mics tonight to preview Game Week 8, but it's a big welcome back not only to the Premier League, which is going to have the Game Week 8 deadline happening this weekend, Saturday early AM here in the States, but it's a welcome back to both of us as we both took full advantage of the second international break. Chin, you jet lagged? How the hell are you, man?
I took full advantage of international break and went international all the way to London for some matches. I just got back last night. It was quite the journey home with the little baby. About 20 hours door to door. Oof, barely survived. Living on coffee today. 500 emails to get back to. But it felt good to sleep in my own bed and wouldn't trade it for the world because I saw some epic matches with Chelsea versus Liverpool and then the next day, Brentford and Man City. So all good vibes over here. And FPL, we're ticking along. So we got to discuss that too.
Yeah, we're coming on, an much needed international break. We both got a little bit away from our comfort zone. I was down in Florida for 2 weeks. Had some urgent work that needed to be done in the Brooklyn apartment. And so my family, my starting five, first time traveling with five members of the family with my three little kids on the airplane. We did the last row special both ways, which was awesome. And the good time was had in the pool.
Smart play.
Otherwise, it was very chaotic, to say the least. But I'm happy to be back into the routine and back at home sweet home. And yeah, the best way to go on a family vacation or, take advantage of the international break is to do it on the back of a green arrow. So, a little high five here that we both got to do that. But I think, maybe I'm speaking out of FOMO. Maybe I just want the listeners to hear a little bit more about your trip. But I'm going to say my trip was okay. Yours sounds absolutely epic. So let's just dive in. I want some of the highlights. You are a Chelsea fan. I know your FPL team comes first, but I think you were probably at the game of the season with Liverpool visiting Chelsea. I know it was your first day on the ground in London. Tell the listeners about that game day experience going to the bridge for the first time.
Oh, what an experience, man. To get off of a first flight with the newborn, about 5 months old, and then to go all the way to London, get to the flat, and then just be so drained, yet that in a couple hours you're going to the bridge for the first fucking time, and you're going to see Chelsea versus Liverpool. And it was just, it was a whirlwind of a day, but would not trade it for the world, man. And big shout out to Kev Johnson. He is one of my good mates from Sydney that I met, and he was just happenstance, was in London for 2 weeks with his family, seen some friends around the UK, but him and his family were able to hook me up with a ticket in the stands, and it was rowdy. It was a raucous environment. Everyone was day drinking since the match was at about 4:30 p.m. in London, so people were like up for it. And
yeah, it was the feature game, so you got like the full experience.
Yeah, walking up to the stadium, people were like just chanting and getting really amped up for the match. And it took an extra 20 minutes to get through the turnstiles because everyone was a bit pissed and trying to pull up their QR codes and going one by one through the gates. But once I got into the stands, the lower level of the Matthew Harding stands over there, took in the match. And man, what an incredible scene as they score in the 14th minute with a Caicedo shot. And from there, it was just a massive party the rest of the day. And then, of course, Liverpool come back a little bit, get a goal, and you're getting nervous. People are moaning, people are letting the refs have it. And of course, Estêwãowww comes in with just a beautiful winner in extra time. The bridge goes absolutely bonkers, serenades the team. And you see Maresca running down the pitch just out of his mind to beat the Premier League defending title holders. And man, just an overall epic day, and definitely deepened my love for just Chelsea and being there for the first time and being around that many fans at once. Just so different from anything I've experienced since we live so far away from world-class football and being able to see these teams on a weekly basis, right? And, we wake up at all kinds of hours, watch these matches on TV, but it's so completely different than being there live in the atmosphere. And the IRL eye test was definitely one to remember.
Yeah, so you fully get where I'm saying that the blue Kool-Aid can be quite intoxicating when you're there in the bridge, surrounded by that energy, and then not only do you get to witness just a regular old 3-point cruise to victory, you get to see Chelsea, against the title holders, underdog story. They come out and they get the win one, but it was a thrilling game throughout. So, the beginning is awesome. The middle is awesome. You're biting your nails throughout the entire match. And then, lo and behold, you get the well-deserved winner from the 18-year-old. He's half our age, but we're certainly glad that he's wearing the Chelsea badge. And that's Estêwãowww, who I got to see twice at the Club World Cup this past summer. So thrilled for you that you were there. And then just, kind of fast forwarding a little bit, you also had a second match that you got to go to the next day. And I think this is a really cool experience because it kind of bridges the divide between FPL and the kind of Premier League morning experience, because you got to watch Holland, your captain, play at the G-Tech against Brentford. How was that?
Yeah, that was super fun. We were able to secure some tickets through a friend of a friend. Shout out Holy Pinto, our guy Eamon, who is well connected in London, was able to hook me up with some bees that were generous enough to help us get tickets. And the IRL experience of watching the robot, and of course he does what he does, had a fantastic striker's goal versus Brentford, and it was a 1-0 game. There were a couple of other decent big time moments. Foden, Reinders also had a couple shots forced into some saves, and then inexplicably, Thiago missed a big one-on-one chance versus Donnarumma that would have really changed the outlook of the game. But City dominated. It was great to see there, just the passing and the intricacy of coming back to the ball and watching all that live, and how kind of methodical they can be in person. But overall, the G-Tech, it's a small stadium, holds 17,000, right? So very small, intimate atmosphere. Not quite as rowdy as the day before. I was sitting in the premium seats with some of the younger children in the family, and I was able to bring my wife and little baby girl, had the headphones on with us, and it was an amazing experience, though, just taking the tube over there in London and going to the game. And fortunately, no hiccups. We had a lot of stress leading up to that moment because we were trying to get a ticket for the baby and had to work with the ticket services at Brentford, but they hooked it up. It all came good. And we had a lovely day out. And fortunately, I didn't even know that I bought premium tickets, but we had access to like a lounge area, had some free beers, some free pies at halftime. I necked about 4 beers at halftime. So that was a good time. And hit up the shop, got a few stuffies. Oh, we went crazy at the Chelsea shop, though, Bucks. Let me tell you, I know we FaceTime, but I definitely picked up a hat here. I picked up some one-of-one shirts that are only available in the store. So that was a good time as well.
Awesome. Sounds like a brilliant trip. And what do you think? Should we do it again maybe next year, the two of us?
I know, right? Man, I was telling my wife, I was just like, I might, especially because our friend might have free tickets for like Fulham matches. So if we could line that up where like Fulham plays Chelsea, that would be worth the long flight. I'm like, I could probably do this, like leave on a Thursday, come back on a Sunday, like type of trip, long weekend, and just spend 2 days in London and 24 hours in the air just to go to a couple matches. So that's definitely something I'm actively thinking about for probably not next year, because I got a lot of budget going towards a World Cup, but the year after. 2027, right. I think. Fair. That's when we'll plan, hopefully. But
the listeners will be wanting to know, what the sportsbook line is on whether you'll get more sleep when we go together as kind of a mates trip, or whether you got more sleep with the 5-month-old. But we'll keep that a mystery for our listeners to guess in the comments. Let's dive back into FPL. The game that we are so excited is coming back as of this weekend. And let's just kind of look into the rearview mirror very briefly at game week 7. Fortunately, the 3 co-hosts all end up on green arrows. Why don't you start out? How did you do in game week 7?
Yeah, I mean, we're all coming off of Wildcard game week 6, so kind of expect to see a few green arrows, that albeit small, definitely helps. So
Don't jinx
I
it.
ended
Don't
up
jinx
on
it.
yeah, I ended up on 70 points all out. And overall, again, seeing my Holland captain live after he scored the first goal and looked like pretty up for it, like he had to shrug off Vandenberg for that one. Just
That was a
great
man's
strength.
goal. That was
Yeah,
that was
it was
fucking
something that
awesome.
he
He put him
really
into the.
put in.
He put him 6 feet under on that one. He was all over him in great position. All of a sudden, he's on the wrong side. Holland has the ball at his feet, and you knew it was going in the goal almost instantaneously watching on TV.
Yeah, and it's funny too, just like Holland, like, get the fuck off me, man. Like
Yeah.
you gotta get in the weight room if you want to hang with me. Right? Like shrugged his shoulders and put him in a body bag. So cool to see him. But after he scored that one, I'm like, he's on for a brace. And shout out to Black Wolf, the episode prior. He was like, you should really consider about using your triple captain on Holland, because when else are you gonna have a live triple cap that you're
Yeah.
watching in your own eyes? I was like, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't bring myself to do it because I didn't want to muddy the experience if it didn't come off as a huge haul. But cool to see him with the goal there, and 8-pointer. Had some Manuel on my side, 18 points. He's been an absolute stud. Definitely the type of player profile that we've seen have some success, but then coming into age, age 25, been in the Premier League for a couple of years, clearly has the talent, but elevating himself. And in the pouring rain, gets a amazing solo effort goal that I thought he was going to tiptoe the touch line, and then brings it into the box and scores that early versus Leno, and then just adds some insult to injury for every non-owner who didn't go there and tried to fade him. I mean, 18-point haul is absolutely supreme. So that was big. And then most of my team, pretty template. I think the main miss I need to complain about and just blame myself, I had a couple drafts with a triple up with Arsenal defense, and I would have been about 20 points higher if I would have kept Gabriel instead of Virgil. And that one's been keeping me up at night, and already looking to use two of my three free transfers to maybe bring Gabriel in for the triple up. So I'm not having a good season of FPL so far, but I do have Timber in place for his 11-pointer. Early days, but even something like that, like 20 points on one decision off a wild card is pretty bad. But that's me. I got some problems in my team, but I'm going to be bench boosting in game week 8. So I need to figure out a few things. So
forget how we do things here. You got to leave something for later.
No, I'm just teasing the episode. I will be bench boosting, and I have some moves to make. So lots to cover after that. But let's move it on now to your team, Bucks. You beat me once again. Although we're only a couple points different in the rank right now, so room for improvement.
I'm coming off Wildcard as well. Not so much to share here. Kind of disappointing showing from my triple Man City attack. Based on the way that first half went that you were in person at, I was really dreaming of, somewhere around like 30 points from those three. I have Holland, captain, and then I had Foden and Reindeer. Foden had, I think, 5 shots in the first half, and Reindeer had that brilliant opportunity where he basically went through 6 different Brentford players only to kind of lose the ball at his feet at the final moment. So
you should have seen how tight the sphincters were in the stands when Reinders was dribbling between all these guys, and just like, oh my god, is he gonna go all the way? So many people were like, there were children, there were moms screaming, somebody stop him, please, somebody.
So I will say that, looking at our 2 teams, which of course are going to be on the YouTube if you want to check that out, my wild card is a little bit more differential than I think the template. And that worked for me this game. I got the Truffert, my truffle, my special white truffle that I have. That's the kind of Bournemouth left back.
Right?
He got an assist, which was beautiful. Nice. And he actually had at the same amount of DEFCON contributions as Senesi. Whatever. That's kind of the way I like to play. I like to target the attacking guys. Right now, it's been a DEFCON heavy season. We'll definitely talk about that. But the template from a team value perspective, you're flying right now. I think you've probably added at least 500,000 in team value since you made your wildcard draft. I'm pretty much stuck right where I was. And like you said, if you were going to be using a chip in the next couple of game weeks, there's moves to be made. But 73 points, green arrow. And, both of us comfortably beat the average. I think that's due in large part to Semenyo and our double Arsenal defense.
Yep. That's basically it,
Semenyo,
right? I
yeah,
guess
Semenyo right now is the most essential player in the game. I think you could play your own game. You don't have Haaland. You want to have Salah. Semenyo, under 8 million as a mid, he's providing incredible value. He's basically averaging a double-digit return every game. So he's a must-get if you don't
he's
have
going
him
through a
yet.
massive purple patch. I don't expect it to continue, but at his price,
Nah.
there's just no like excuse for you not to have him. I would say
He's on penalties. He's the talisman. Evan Nielsen.
Yeah.
People were dreaming that he would get some goals, but everything seems to be falling right into the feet of Antoine Semenyo right now.
I will say,
for
like,
the Cherries.
Semenyo he's going through this hot form. He's not getting a ton of shots, and he's like now playing a lot of winger, and probably has like a 50% pen share with Kluivert, because Kluivert's now gaining fitness at a wonderful
He
goal.
looks amazing. Don't overcomplicate
still,
it can be that simple sometimes. Get Semenyo in your team immediately. So with that, let's talk about the average.
Hold on. I had one other thing to call out.
Go.
I forgot to call
please.
out my team that I owned Virgil van Dijk and Mo Salah versus the Chelsea Blues, and they combined for 3 points.
Good.
Go Chelsea.
Yeah, it was negative
fun
3 points.
It was fun to have Mo in the team for the IRL effort, and he had a couple of shots. One shot that was definitely like classic vintage Mo, could have curled it in, and definitely missed it. Thankfully for the watch. And then my last call out is that I won 2 cheeky bets, both for both matches, so that helped subsidize the ticket pricing. But I had Chelsea and Liverpool over 2.5 goals, so that happens at the death. And then you and I usually do a cheeky Haaland over 2.5 and Man City to win. I just went with the Haaland anytime goal and the money line, and so that hit too. So a few, at least FPL is not going so well, but at least the subsidized ticket prices definitely helped me for my rest of my trip.
You like my impersonation of Virgil just sticking out my huge ass right now as the ball fizzes by him?
Oh man, good memes coming from that, for sure.
Hate to see it if you are someone who believes he's the best ever Premier League defender. If you're a Chelsea fan and have the other side of that coin, that was music, sweet music to my ears, and I drink up all those Virgil van Dijk related tears. Let's go to the manager of the game week. These two managers definitely were not crying unless it was tears of pure joy and ecstasy. We have a tie at the top of our FPL USA Press Play Premiership, and that is on 95 points. Shout out to these two managers, FC Sir Alex, and that's managed by Alex Sobolev. He got there using a bench boost. He even took a -4 hit to make the magic happen. 18-point bench boost. That's a well played job, well done there. You take that all the way to the bank.
Very nice.
And just underscore Geeke, managed by, hold on, bear with me, Olamide. Got there without any chips, any transfers, nothing fancy, just the old 95-pointer up on the board, beating the average by 35 points. Bravo, both Alex and Olamide. Both of you guys absolutely smashed it in game week 7. Bravo.
Yeah, I love seeing both these teams on screen because they're not fucking template. They have some interesting picks in here. Grealish comes in with a big winner for Everton. You see him on screen. Kudus features in both of those teams with a goal and assist. His first goal of the season for Spurs in the Premier League. Eze, Shout, Gakpo. There's a couple of really interesting picks in the back line. I'm seeing Cucurella with 7, Timber with 11, Pedro with 7. And interestingly enough, neither team has Gabriel, who that huge 9-pointer came in again. So many ways to play it in this early season.
Absolutely true. All right. Let's make sure to just, leave it here. We are going to be closing the FPL USA free to enter prize mini league. If you are not entered PELL01, we're going to be closing it on deadline day, Saturday. That will be October. Who knows what day that is? I don't know what day it is.
So we're gonna have to edit this out. I already closed it, man. It's done. The people have had long enough. It's closed. And I think you shouted out the wrong league code anyway. So we're done with that. Thank you to everybody who's in there. Hopefully I have about 500 people, and we'll be sending some swag out and shouting out the top managers each week on this show. But
Yeah,
the show must go on.
That's the beauty of editing. Let's look ahead to game week 8.
I'm not taking that out.
Yeah, keep it in. I look like an idiot all the time without your help. So, you don't need to throw me a life raft when I do it to myself. Game week 8 preview. We just should, caution, word to the wise. If you've been playing FPL for long enough, you've come to expect that the game week following an international break tends to be topsy-turvy. There's always some surprise results, as there's tired legs out there. Players coming from far distances to feature for their home country now have to play club football again. So there's a lot of focus on game week 8. And I know you mentioned you're using a bench boost. There's a lot of managers thinking about using a wildcard chip. Just practice some caution not to freak out too much if there is a surprise result or several in game week 8. So without that, Brian, why don't you run us through the matches to target for some FPL hauls?
Yeah, there's definitely a few of them. I would start with Arsenal, who firmly sit at the top of the table now after another solid result. And you were a Saka owner, takes the pen over Gioke. So congrats to you. Good little call there. Nice little differential, but no bonus points. No bonus points for Saka. You hate to see that, as Timber and Gabriel and all the defenders are getting clean sheets. But I would say that Arsenal at Fulham, Fulham just conceded 3 away to Bournemouth. They can definitely give up some goals here. So I expect this to be a 3-0 to Arsenal. Ooh. I just think they have to actually really put the pressure on Liverpool in this early stage to create some separation potentially, because Liverpool's defense are up and down. Their lineup is chopped and changed every fucking match. The slot man just doesn't know what to do with their new players. Right back is up in the air. So I just think now is a crucial time in his next 5 to 8 games for Arsenal to really try and get maximum points in this window and create some separation, as Liverpool is very topsy-turvy. So what are your thoughts on that mantra? Do you think that's something that we'll see from Arteta?
Yeah, great call out. I think they start their strongest possible 11. Obviously they get that big result with Saka taking the penalty. I had been calling that the entire season. So Saka is firmly on many watch lists and definitely he's top of mind. I think this is 2-0 to Arsenal pretty comfortably. But I think the big story here is the loss of Odegaard. It's not a season ender, but he will be out for at least 4 to 8 weeks, I think is the new updated injury timeline.
At least till after the next international break. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, 4
so he's
to 6
miss a
weeks
month
minimum. Yeah. And
so
they have the depth. They have the depth that they shouldn't rush him back. Now, this is why you pay £65 million for Eze.
Exactly.
This is his time to shine, right?
So I think, again, we pretty much know today, we're recording this on Monday, the 13th, who Arsenal are going to start with. They're going to go strong in defense. Eze will take Odegaard's spot and Saka will be on the right wing. So I really think that Arsenal are a team that you should get on the bandwagon for. The fixtures are excellent. I think if they're not top, they're very close to top of the fixture ticker from attack, from defense. No matter how you slice it, you probably want a triple up on Arsenal. And this is as good a time as ever to make sure you have that in place. 2-0 to Arsenal.
All right. I like it. We're both predicting clean sheets. So we'll see if Gabriel, who is now a DEFCON monster, he's gotten huge DEFCON points the last 2 matches. I was up late tinkering. I'm like, I'm going to throw VVD in for a little spice. Maybe go for him instead. And because I was thinking, if Gabriel doesn't score,
all the goals for the national team.
Yep. And now, we're seeing Gabriel is just a fucking beast of a pick, as he is always.
Brian, let me just pause here before we go to any other matches. I know we talked about this on some of our text threads. Optimal Arsenal triple up. Who's your first trio?
That's a question from Corey as well, so we can address it here now. But I would still heavily lean into double defense, but I would definitely be going with Gabriel and Timber, and then going with a different goalkeeper. And the reason being, watching Timber the last couple of matches, he is so attacking right now. He has been in the box. He's had a massive header chance that just got tipped out by Pope in game week 6 when I brought him in, and then it gets an assist in this match, and he's just really like taking up some spaces that I have not seen him in previous seasons. So I don't know if that's a change from Arteta to
And
have
who's
him
your
up
third?
higher.
Who's your third?
And then, yeah, I mean, if we think the pen share is split 50-50, you would probably go with the proven asset in Saka. I know Gyökeres is taking a while to warm up in the league, so he's got 3 goals in 7 matches, which is actually not bad.
That's
but
pretty
he got
good.
two of them in one, so it's followed by a lot of blanks. He's just having some trouble adapting, I think, to getting his shots off. Like maybe he's better in a counter-attacking side, like where he played for Sporting last year. But
And it's worth
still
mentioning
early.
Havertz not so far away from coming back. I have the same trio. That's why I just wanted to press you on it. And as a Chelsea fan, it's not hyperbole, and I don't say this with any joy in my statement, but right now Timber is the best right back in the Premier League. Reece James is kind of more of a Swiss Army knife at this point, and you'd be hard pressed to say anyone is anywhere close to Timber and the way that he's kind of shot out of a cannon to start this season. He's been exceptional defensively. He's getting bonus points. He's getting attacking returns. And you look at the heat map, that's kind of exactly what you want to see for a player with high upside and also a high floor. So he's kind of offering everything from an FPL manager perspective.
Yeah, I was just so surprised to see him so attacking when I was looking at his like XGI. And so if he can keep that up, he's got 1 goal, 3 assists in the early stages of the season. And he's the
highest scoring defender.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I mean, all these top teams have a lot of pileups coming up between Champions League, and I know Arsenal's off to a good start, so maybe he'll rest during some upcoming matches. But Liverpool, Chelsea, City, Arsenal, like they have tough matches coming up that are going to come into account when it comes to rotation and in the league. So we will see. But I would also shout out like other picks are still good. Like Raya, he's fine. Like if you have him, you just hold on to him. You're not gonna make goalkeeper transfers. I think Declan Rice is somebody who's obviously not as sexy, but given their prowess on corner kicks, I think he's got 3 or 4 assists to start the season, gets his first goal, has DEFCON in 2 out of 7 matches. So he's a pick. He's definitely somebody like if you want a glue guy that you're not going to move on for a while and just ride these good fixtures and pick up a lot of probably 5 to 7 pointers from him. I don't hate it. It's differential, but
and Eze too is a great pick.
Eze is like, I think he's an interesting pick, but I don't know if he has the goal threat for me to feel comfortable paying 7.5 when you could get somebody probably like Semenyo at that price if you didn't have him. But he's also a differential pick. Like I think he's going to play tons of minutes in these next 6 game weeks until Odegaard comes out, and if he's in the 10, he should be influencing every match. So also a fun pick. So tons of picks across the board, to be honest.
Yeah, I think Arsenal are the most FPL relevant team. At least it's easy to say that because they're in first place, but I think you just look at their team right now. They're taking every Premier League match very seriously, and they have great assets and good pricing across the board.
Yeah,
let's not get too off.
They have a manager too who just wants to grind out results, and so like you're probably not going to see.
I think that's kind of, you mentioned it before with Gyökeres. I think that a little bit kind of tamps down some of their attackers' ceiling. And so that's why I think, when we were on Wildcard, one of the things we were both bantering about was, do we just have a triple Arsenal defense? And, now we're both kind of kicking ourselves because it really, FPL sometimes is that easy. Obviously, that's high risk, high reward. But, if every time they keep a clean sheet, you're looking at somewhere in the range of 25 to 28 points, you pat yourself on the back, like 15 to 17 times this season. They're going to do it. So let's go to the next match. We're bogged down with the Gunners right now. I think Man City, the team you saw live, is hosting what could be a very juicy one. Everton, one of the stories of the early season as well. They're traveling away where they have less joy than they do at the new stadium that they just opened. What's your prediction for Holland and the light blue in Man City?
Yeah, this will be interesting. Obviously, Everton are on the up from an attacking perspective. Grealish is just having a little renaissance.
Can't play though.
Can't play in this one. So you're going to miss a ton of influence here. I think KDH is back after he served his 1-game yellow card suspension. So they'll rely on him for a little bit more creativity in this match. So if you have to roll him out in one of your midfielder slots, not the end of the world. Probably high opportunity for DEFCON and high opportunity for yellow card for KDH in that match. But City at the Etihad, I expect them to score goals against anybody. So it'll be interesting to see if they can break that low block. I know in the past you've seen people like Tarkowski really try and cut down Holland. I think Branthwaite is still out for this, so
still out.
Is going to be. I don't love Keane versus a City side, so I expect this one to be a 3-1 to City.
This match has my spidey sense up as the kind of wacky result.
Just a crazy scoreline.
Yeah, I think this could be. I think this could come out of nowhere and be like 3-3 or 4-2.
Wow. Okay.
So I think this is going to be one of the games that I will have my snacks ready on the couch to watch. Nice. But I don't think there's any reason to not captain Holland at home with the form that he's in. So this one is going to be a good one.
Unless of course you're going to go for the likes of Mo Salah and his sterling record versus Manchester United. And that is a potential differential that I'm looking at for captaincy, given how highly owned the robot is now, with everyone having likely used their first wild card or using transfers to bring Holland in. So decent opportunity for Liverpool to get right. Is that 3 losses on the bounce?
3 in a row, yeah.
Woo! That's fucking stanky. That is terrible. Slot better get his shit together because these players are unsure of what the bleep they're doing. I mean...
Yeah. They might have to bring in Sean Dyche to take over, right?
Oh my goodness! I mean,
what's the score line here? If you're going to captain Mo seriously, how many goals are Liverpool scoring?
Liverpool since this is at home as well. I just think that like Manchester United go into this with a bit of pride, trying to hit on the counter, but that leaves them susceptible at the wrong moments. And this is historically. I mean, what's the head-to-head for these two guys? I got to pull this up, but
like
I know
the last 10 years, like Liverpool absolutely dominate. It's not even a fair fight.
It's been rough. Yeah, it's been rough. So I would lean here probably a three bagger for Liverpool and a little bit of a get right moment. I think Salah scores at least 1 goal in this one.
Okay, he gets his his first open play goal of the season, right?
Their defense looks like garbage, though. I really must say, like the amount of times that Konate is fucking up this season is like insane. They need Gahey to come in that free transfer in the off seasons in the worst way. My goodness.
Yeah, Kirkes looks like he's shade of himself as well. I think in general, the fact that Mo Salah doesn't play any defense. You just saw it in the Chelsea match. They always had a numerical advantage. And then they have this Szoboszlai guy. He's running his heart out on the pitch. He's trying to cover like 3 positions, 2 guys on that right back position. Yeah. They have some challenges in the system. And I think, Manchester United, Amarin isn't a dummy. I don't think he's a great coach, but he's not a dummy. He's going to be studying that Chelsea match and trying to figure out ways to create that same overload that Chelsea went to over and over again on that left wing, where they're going to have Cunha, where we had Garnacho. I mean, I think this is going to be a really fun game as well. I think it's 3-2 to the hosts. I think there's goals from both
the last
teams.
time that they lined up against each other as well was a 2-2. Mm-hmm. So a little blood in the water for Liverpool to get some revenge. But looking at their head-to-head, though, previous matches, we got a 3-0 to Liverpool, a 2-2, 4-3.
Yeah, that 4-3 one I remember.
Yeah, there's a couple like pretty wild matches actually. So this could either be like a barn burner or it could be Liverpool domination. I just do not see it any way that it's a 1-0 Manchester United upset or something like that. So time will tell.
Agree
We'll
with
come
you.
back
All
to
right,
it.
let's go to the best match in real life. I'm keeping Chelsea out of this. They travel to Nottingham Forest. They are the early fixture. I think that will be a good game. But with Cole
Yep.
Palmer out, really hard to pinpoint where the points are going to come from in that Chelsea team. So I think
Enzo, man.
the best match in real life. I didn't think we'd be saying this when we started the season. Bournemouth at Crystal Palace. I think this is the sickos like us two who just love the Premier League. You know, there are stars that are in the works of being really cemented as, you know, worldwide household names like Semenyo, like I think Adam Wharton is a special talent, Daniel Munoz. So there are really exciting players in this game. Both teams are just coming in great form. So I think this will be one of those kind of watches that if you know, you know, you'll be tuned into this game. Any
Yeah,
prediction?
Bournemouth sitting in fourth and Palace sitting in sixth in the early season. So great results. I think these are two of the managers that we show a ton of respect for, given the amount of turnover that both teams have
Top
had
10 in the Premier
over
for sure.
the last couple seasons. You know, you have Elise and Eze both leaving Palace. They're able to pick up Sarr and really whip him back into Premier League shape and become a really great asset for FPL and for the Eagles there. And then obviously Bournemouth. I just can't believe that Bournemouth has lost their like whole back line and they're still, you know, really putting on the press and delivering results, even with Clivert not playing more than 180 minutes so
It's
far
the
this season. Like
system. It's
it's
the
impressive.
system.
So yeah, the systems are in place from those lads. I think this is one where both teams want to get a statement victory. I would say a 2-1. I'm going to lean towards Palace, the home team, for a
Ooh,
little home
okay.
cooking. Yep.
I'll take the other side of that. 2-1 to the visitors.
Yep.
All right.
But you see
I
goals in
think,
this, right?
yeah. I mean, honestly, I think the first 30 minutes you could, if your kid didn't sleep well at night, which most nights my kids don't, you know, you might fall asleep on the couch and drool a little on yourself. But by the time halftime comes around and there's some tactical switches, I think that second half will be really, really exciting and some great football.
Man,
Before we
I
get
just
out
think
of,
like you said, Bucks, like the first 30 minutes in all of these matches are going to be either really drab or we're going to see some back pass fuck ups. We're going to see somebody
yeah,
like stumbling over their feet drunk off the plane coming back from Brazil and gifting goals. Like there's going to be some wacky shit that happens this week. So we're going to see, I think, either some high score lines or just, yeah, pretty drab football. I'm hoping it's high score lines for FPL.
yeah, I think there's going to be, I think there's going to be some weirdness, and I think leaning towards the goals is more fun. But so far this season, it's been all about the clean sheets and the DEFCON points for sure. So I think with that, let's just tiptoe
Hold
in.
on. I got two other matches I want to shout
Oh
out
my
here, Bucks.
goodness, you're hiding, you're
Mainly
holding out on me.
mainly
Share.
because it is very important for the bottom teams all facing each other. We have some 6-point potential matches this game week. We have Sunderland hosting Wolves and Burnley hosting Leeds. So I'm curious from your perspective. Actually, there's a decent amount of FPL relevant players here on Bench Boost, especially for my team. So what do you see in Burnley versus Leeds? Just quick prediction, and then same thing for Sunderland, Wolverhampton.
Yeah, so I think right now Sunderland, they are not looking like a newly promoted team. They sit in the top half of the table. They're playing some really good football. Uh, maybe I won't gloat too much, but I kind of predicted that I thought they were really ambitious in the offseason with their transfer plans, and I thought they would be sticking around for seasons to come. They're pretty much halfway there. You know, historically, you get 25 points or thereabouts in the Premier League.
Really?
You,
Is that the
you stay
mark?
there, you stay up.
Oh,
So
it's like
I think they're
35.
on like
Wow, okay.
12 or 11. So
11.
they're almost halfway there through, you know, the opening sixth of the season. So very impressive way to start the campaign. And they haven't had the easiest of fixtures either. So Sunderland is a team that I think, especially defensively, they're offering tons of value. And then you look at Xhaka. I mean, I think he's the perfect fifth midfielder, eighth attacker. And Then I look at that other game, and I really think that we need to focus the magnifying glass on Burnley, because if they're going to have any chance of making a claim to stay up this season, this is a must-win game, because they don't look like they're altogether too tight on defense. Losing James Trafford has clearly had significant ripple effects throughout that team. And Leeds just look like a team that are going to outmuscle and brute force their way to some ugly results this season. And listen, the Premier League is physical because of teams like Leeds. They come in, they have a bunch of 6-foot guys with sharp elbows and nasty streak. And personally, I'm really invested in that being a 2-0 to Leeds, because I have double Leeds and Dubravka on my bench for a potential bench boost. So I'm heavily invested in that one. So yeah, I think these are both must wins for all 4 teams. So they should be really fun. Good shout. Good to bring these up.
Yeah, I think they're just super relevant matches this week for anybody on bench boost. So you're really hoping, in a situation like yours, you're hoping for save points from Dubravka, maybe 4, and then you're hoping for Stash and DCL, I assume is who you have, maybe?
No, I have Goodmanson and DCL. Stash,
okay, so you're hoping for
we should talk about Stash really quick.
Goodmanson cross right into DCL's noggin, and hopefully somehow hits the back of the net, right?
I would take 16 points between those two guys. That's not asking too much, is it? One thing about Stash, I'm glad you brought him up.
Yeah.
Since they actually brought in a guy, Sean Longstaff from Newcastle. And the reason I bring him up is since he's gotten his sea legs under him and started playing, Stash has 0 shots.
Set pieces.
Yeah, he's not taking set pieces. So that is one of the L's of a kind of early wildcard strategy. I know he was a very popular pick on Game Week 4 wildcard drafts, kind of that cheap enabler. All of a sudden, he looks like a player who could be throwing up nothing burgers a lot of game weeks. So just one to shout out. And DCL, he's done me dirty many times in the past. He just seems nailed as the number 9. He's getting chances. He still can't finish for shit. But the dream is there if you're a DCL owner like me, that one of those chances will ripple the back of the net. And you only really need him for the bench boost. So that's what I'm hoping for.
All right, pivot us, Bucks. I need to catch my throat. Ooh, it's got a frog in it.
Yeah, you gotta chugging too many beers and screaming the anthems for too many football teams. Let's just quickly dig deep into what is a potential Game Week 8 wildcard draft. Now, obviously, all 3 of the hosts have already blown their loads on using the wildcard chip this season. We have pretty different teams, which I want to just give some credit to none of us drinking the Kool-Aid from one another, not double dipping on anyone's chip. So just a quick wildcard draft that I threw together with my team value. Again, my team value is not notable. I think I have like 100.5. So this is a very achievable team. And I'm just going to run it by Brian and give me your honest feedback where you'd make some changes.
Yeah, let me pull it up and put it on screen.
Yeah, without further ado, the goalkeepers, I have moved away from Raya. I think he was kind of the most obvious pick if you wildcarded in Game Week 6, certainty of minutes, but he's kind of a 2-point or 6-point darling. And I like to chase the upside. So I've gone Pope alongside Dubravka, 2 set and forget keepers. They're going to be starting each and every game week, and they used to be teammates. So they'll be happy, and the camaraderie will be strong in the locker room between these 2 guys. In the back line, I've gone double Arsenal defense, Gabriel Timber alongside Senesi, Richards, and this is a guy I have. He's just really cheap, the Mukiele guy from Sunderland. He's a nailed starter, good for DEFCON. Maybe not the same attacking threat as Alderete, but again, he's a little bit cheaper, so just saving on the margins. Going into midfield, like I said, Semenyo, essential. I have Eze, Gakpo, Ndai, and Caicedo. This is kind of where you could do a little bit better because I've turbocharged the front line. I went Bowen, Holland, and João Pedro. Now, of course, if you go Bowen down to someone like Voldemort, as I like to call him, you can go Eze up to Saka. Kind of makes the team a little less balanced, but makes your starting 11 probably stronger. So again, this is just something, noodle on it, think about it. Let me know your thoughts.
Yeah, I just don't see value in the forward line, so I would be playing a 4-4-2 or a 3-5-2 and not a 3-4-3. So other than that, I hate the Gakpo pick. I don't think he's playing well right now. And based on their output, just stay away from Liverpool for the time being if you're on Wildcard, and figure out how to get their assets in later after they show some guile and some gusto. Because right now, they ain't it. 3 losses on the bounce. Hard to bring in a player from that side. I do think that fair. Kudus, a shout for Kudus potentially.
Just as hard a player. Fixtures for Spurs though.
Yep, but why not? Thomas Frank has shown that he's up for the challenge, so I think he's a player that you could consider in that midfield slot as well. I do like Enzo or Caicedo as a potential Chelsea inclusion. I don't know if I'm sold on João Pedro. I obviously did not go with him on Wildcard, and he's had a couple moments early season, but a couple lucky moments as well. So I'm not sure where we see the points coming from in attack.
Small sample. I will say
that a shot in the last 3 matches.
No, but he's playing a lot of football. The fixtures are the fixtures. I kind of always will tell myself that. That being said, the meta is really going against this strategy, and to go to the kind of 4-5-1 or even the 5-4-1, based on how the early days have gone in the FPL game. The top 6 defenders in FPL have all outscored João Pedro. So if you wanted to just have Haaland up top and have some money stashed in the bank for future flexibility, or you want to go Haaland and Mo Salah and then just a back line of absolute defensive beasts, I think big is really back, and there's reason to back that kind of Christmas tree strategy where you have the 5-4-1 or even the 4-5-1.
Right around the corner, Bucks.
But I will say, I wanted to include one pick that I knew was just for you, Brian, and that's why Senesi's in here, because I don't get the hype around this guy whatsoever. I'll be pounding the door on it on social media from here until kind of their fixtures start to turn in game week 12. He's getting a lot of DEFCON points, and he got that goal early, and I think that kind of is changing the narrative on his value.
An assist. He's got 0 goals so far.
Oh, sorry. He got an assist. So, I don't know. I think he's a little bit overrated. I don't think he's rotation proof. And again, the fixtures for Bournemouth are not great. So, if it was me and it was my team, I'd be picking Trevor Chalobah for Chelsea, or I'd be picking Dan Burn for Newcastle over him.
That's the pick. Dan Burn. Dan fucking Burn.
Yeah, burn it down, baby.
Yeah.
Like the Phoenix from the ashes. Dan Burn.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Some good picks. I think Voltemade is somebody who could be an interesting forward to have. He looks to not have any competition because Vissa is out until next international break, potentially.
It could be longer. It's all quiet on the Vissa front, which is Vissa gonna miss a lot of games.
Sad, dude. I mean, 20 goals last season. He hasn't played more than 10 minutes this season. You hate to see it.
You would think that there's some clause, right? That they could be like, we need an extra 10 million back or something because you sold us damaged goods here, something like that.
Yeah, I think some other players to consider. It's fine. I think Sarr at Crystal Palace is a player that huge open play threat, cheap. I think he's under consideration as well in that midfield.
Yeah, I would say the easy move, to your point, is to swap Senesi, Bowen, Gakpo, and Eze to like Burn, Saka, Sarr, and Voldemort. And then all of a sudden it's like you have a real benching headache each and every game week. But that's good. You have depth to cover for future game weeks.
Yeah.
You agree with that?
And I think everyone should be looking at this next set of fixtures as 7 or 8 fixtures until you get 5 free transfers, right? So there's a way to make sure that you're playing it relatively aggressively, knowing that you have those in your back pocket for later. We're going to see a ton of people who have not wildcarded look at that kind of game week 13 window, I believe, where there's big fixture swings for Liverpool and City,
And Bournemouth.
you're going to see
City.
and Bournemouth. So, that's what you're up against. But for the time being, prioritize a triple up on Arsenal, and then I would obviously just have some of the top picks across the board next to Holland, and then you have one or two differential slots. There's so much value to be had in defense, so you can either go big at the back or you can go just with a couple Arsenal lads and then fill it out with 4 or 5s. Like there's so many ways to play it. So I think we're seeing a wide player pool right now trickle in points, whereas the premiums, maybe Saka can change that, but with Palmer injured, I think that's the only thing in this team, Bucks, that I would maybe be more interested to have a Bruno or a Saka, probably Saka, but then you can easily upgrade Saka to Palmer if Palmer comes back and looks to be firing, because Chelsea have those good fixtures. So holding that slot for a one move later down the line for Palmer could make sense, but he's got to prove that he can play 3 matches in a row, because that has not been the case with his blasting groin.
Yeah, and he doesn't look anywhere close. He doesn't look anywhere close to being fit. That's the big issue.
You got to slide in those DMs and slide your hands all over that groin and take care of our guy here, Bucks.
I have my essential oils ready, Cole. Just give me a ring. All I need is that autograph one of my many jerseys of yours, and we'll make it happen. Let's go into the mailbag. Speaking of DMs, we got some great contributions from the hashtag FPL community. Thank you for engaging with us on social, whether it's IG, X, Blue Sky, wherever you are. We are too, because we are FPL USA, not Penn State. Fuck those guys. All right, let's go.
We're a pod of the people, Bucks.
Yeah, we need the community to be thriving for us to be growing. So let's go to co-host. We love you, Dan, at FPL_Blackwolf. He's asking about the best assets from the 3 promoted sides. And notably, he wants to know because of their bench boostable nature in the next couple game weeks. I think, Dan, right now, he's teasing a game week 9 bench boost. So I think that's something worth considering. Brian, you have anyone in mind?
Yeah, it's interesting because for me, game week 8, obviously it's on the heels of international break, so some crazy shit could happen, but I'm kind of targeting Sunderland versus Wolves as like a Alderete.
Don't add salt. Don't add insult to injury.
Even Xhaka, I think those are all like startable great assets versus Wolves in that fixture. So that's something that I'm definitely looking at. It's a home fixture for Sunderland as well. But if you were going to go with Burnley assets, Burnley are going to play 2 easy matches with Leeds at home in game week 8 and then Wolves away in game week 9. So grabbing somebody from Burnley, obviously everybody in their mother has Dubravka, but like I don't even know his first name. Is it Lyle Foster? Kyle Foster?
Whatever Foster. Yeah, Lyle Foster. I like Anthony, Jaden Anthony.
Yeah,
he's the midfielder. He's been balling out for Burnley. He's clearly their best player.
4 goals?
I think
3 goals?
I'm not looking at the stats. I think 3
Decent
or 4.
amount,
you're right. From Sunderland, I really like the idea. Their goalie, Royfs, is he's been playing out of his mind. On his head, out of his mind. He's been doing everything for them. He looks fantastic. In defense, you probably want Alderete or Mukiele. And then this Isidore guy, as well as Xhaka, are really putting the attacking pressure on the opposition. And I'll just say it because I think Dan knows that I'm thinking it. Wolves are worse than Sunderland right now. And so they're more of a contender for relegation than Sunderland are at the moment. And that's very unfortunate for our comrade.
No love for your pick DCL either? I mean, there's so many assets you can pick.
Yeah, Leeds, it's like Rodon, Goodmanson, DCL, Longstaff. A lot of these guys are cheap too, which just makes
it's so funny that you could either go
fodder.
Yeah, you could go game week 8 or 9 because Leeds assets are away at Burnley and then they have home West Ham. So pretty solid bench boost either week. So
the issue is I think who Sunderland play. Sunderland don't play a great fixture in 9. I think if you have Sunderland
away.
Chelsea way. That's not great. You don't want that. So I think I'm solidly bench boost 8 as well. But the Leeds guys, you'd prefer to bench boost your weaker guys in home fixtures. And I think that's probably what Dan is thinking when he's targeting game week 9 as opposed to game week 8. Let's keep it moving. Who's next up in the rundown?
Next up, my pup just arrived. What's up, puppy dog?
Woof, woof,
I
woof,
did get him a new Chelsea dog collar though.
Ooh,
Splashed out the 8 pounds to get the dog swagged out in some Chelsea garb from the bridge.
I love that.
Yep.
Ziggy is a blue, just like his papa.
Yep, there we go. All right, next question we have is from Abdullah, aka at Bengal_FPL. Wants to know how my trip was to London, and then from there, which mid should we prioritize this week? Eze, Sar, or Salah if there's budget? And then who is your favorite budget forward from DCL, Foster, and Thiago?
Enzo, Sar, and Salah. Okay.
Yep.
I like it. This is a great question. I think Enzo, because of the fixtures, if you're merely looking, if you're an advanced stats person, Ismail Assar is just putting on an absolute clinic right now. I think he's second overall in XG from midfielders behind only Semenyo. He's taking a lot of shots, getting in a lot of good final position. Salah, I'm going to just wait to see it. He's so expensive that, if he doesn't get multiple goal returns for another 2 or 3 game weeks, whatever, man. You have awesome guys that are doing the business for half his price. So I like those first 2 shouts way better. And then his second question, favorite budget forward. I mean, I'm biased. I have DCL, so he's my pick. But Thiago has penalties. So I think when you look at it, Thiago plays for a better team on Brentford. He's probably the better player, younger too. If you have that extra 0.5 million, Thiago is the one you'd want to pick out of this bunch. You agree?
Yeah, I was talking to some Brentford fans at the match, and they were very upset that Thiago came off in about the 65th minute or so. They were eager for him to keep trying to put the pressure on City's backline and have been impressed with him and his output so far this season.
He had Diaz nervous a lot of that game from watching it on my TV.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if Abdullah is going to be bench boosting game week 8 or 9, but Thiago is an option because, let's see, they are playing West Ham away in game week 8. So if you were going to bench boost, yeah, I mean, that I'm actually, to be honest, like looking at maybe moving Richarlison if he's not going to start to Thiago for my bench boost, because Richie might be a problem. But then Telles went off. I need to see predicted lineups. Telles went off injured in their last match, and then Richarlison came in, and that's been a
and Solanke is still not fit. So I think Richarlison will be the starter, but I don't hate that move because they're playing, I think, Aston Villa away, so it's kind of a bet on freeing up budget for other moves, but probably want to bank that transfer. Let's go to the next question. Again, Corey wants to, Matt. We already answered Corey's question. Sorry, we're not sorry. Let's go to My Cayman Fan on social. He's running a great challenge league. I think it's still open. So get into Matt's DMs if you're interested in joining both us hosts in that competition.
I've forgotten to do challenge the last 2 weeks. 2 weeks, Bucks. I'm giving away free money to all my mini challenge league.
I came in
rivals.
Second, first, and I think 4th in the last 3. So I'm putting up some numbers there. If my FPL real team was doing half as well, I'd be throwing a little naked party in my house. We won't talk about that. Matt's asking, great pick, Brian, of you at the Stamford Bridge tour behind the famous Mourinho press conference table. He wants to ask a lifestyle question. If you or I were Chelsea managers, what would we do?
Oh, goodness. Can
I go first here?
Yeah, I mean, tell me your honest assessment of Maresca so far as a young manager coming in.
Fantastic.
You think he's been fantastic?
Yeah, he's a little bit rigid, but I like that he's got a little shade of Jose Mourinho in him. He's just very stubborn, but he is adaptable. He kind of does the homework for each and every match, but The one thing I would say Maresca needs to still work on is his subs, but as of late, they've been working wonders. I mean, the subs he made against Liverpool were nearly perfection. Gittins on at the right time, Estêwãowww on, Guéhi on. They all had a part to play. And this is a really young team. So I really have no notes. And the way he celebrated, I mean, yes, that's undisciplined, and that's showing your players that you can be undisciplined and get another red card. But the moment was just calling for it. So I love that he did that. I think that was a real homage to the fans to really bring them into his corner. The thing I would be doing is I'd be paying a lot more for therapy. I'd probably be having near weekly heart attacks because that's just too much pressure. I love the team too much. They're my favorite sports team that I support. It's hard enough to sometimes watch them just on a regular Saturday when my wife's trying to get some extra Z's in. So I couldn't imagine being on the touchline and being responsible for keeping my cool. That's not me. How about you, Brian? What would you do in this situation as Chelsea boss?
For me, if I was Chelsea boss, I would definitely be making sure that Cole Palmer is playing much more forward. I'm sick of him dropping so deep in some of these matches, and I want him as our best player and playmaker just to be a little bit more higher up the pitch. Maybe have a few less progressive pass moments in the game and just be the one receiving the ball and creating some magic, either playing off the right wing or just playing a little bit closer to goal. I think that's driven us a little bit crazy over the last half of a season where we've seen him just play too deep, considering his talent set. And I think we have enough players in our midfield to progress the ball. So that's the main thing that I would do. And other than that, I would tell these players to stop getting so many fucking red cards. I mean, we're trying to pick up points in every competition, and these guys are playing with 2 feet shackled behind their backs and a player down. It's been rough to watch that. So even going into the Liverpool match, I was not expecting them to have a ton of success, just knowing how many changes they had to make to their lineup. No Palmer, the center backs have been in and out. So that was a pleasant surprise, but I'm hoping that ownership will continue to give him a pathway to grow and see if he can continue to be stubborn in the right places, but adapt and make his tactical substitutions a little bit more fine-tuned.
Yeah, one thing to just add, I think to Matt's question, that Liverpool result was probably bigger for Enzo than it was for the club. I think Chelsea probably, when they looked at the fixture run, they were probably assuming they would get something, maybe a point. But the fact that, Enzo, they get the 3 points, he has that moment where not only is he showing his fire on the sideline, getting the first yellow card, arguing, and then all these changes that make every move he made came off to perfection. And then he gets to go celebrate with the fans like he's a lunatic, like he's just one of us, couple beers in on a match day. So I think that went a really long way for the fans and getting them in his corner. So I loved it, and a lot more to come. They're still the youngest team in the Premier League. They're even younger than they were last season. So you got to expect a couple moments of silliness from a bunch of teenagers.
Yep. All right. Thank you again for engaging with us on social at FPL USA Press Play Podcast. So thanks,
Brian, I got one for you. Best thing you ate in London. What was your best meal with your beautiful wife and daughter?
It's much different when you're dining with the 5-month-old, where you have to take turns holding her and eating and all that. But my top meal was probably had some good Indian food. Dishoom is one of the best restaurant chains kind of around London, but very authentic Bombay style food with a kind of modern twist. Lots of great upscale cocktails. That was our last meal. That was absolutely supreme. Had a beautiful kati roll out of Calcutta, and then had some other just comfort food that was very delicious. They did like a dal that was like exquisite. You know how like in Mexican food they have like the mole that can be cooked in the same thing for years and just keeps on.
Yeah, and the flavor is just in. Like so much more sophisticated and deepened, like, even though
that was similar to this black dal that they had. It was just so complex and rich in all the right places, and still had those aromatics. That was supreme. That one stayed with me. And then I also had some really good dim sum, some Chinese food. Had a full xiaolongbao, some soup dumplings, some crispy duck pancakes. Those were all very
Some
good, and that was
pings.
a
Ooh, yum
nice
yum.
a nice
You're making
lunch.
me hungry.
Yeah, with the wifey. So yeah, some good food. Honestly, I hadn't been there in 10 years, and that's actually where my wife and I met, but we were students at the time, so being able to actually afford, £100 meal out this time around was much different than the 25 pence tomato soup that we were eating before the club most nights.
Yeah,
So
you
it was
didn't
nice
have
to be
to
back.
live off some mayo sandwiches. All right, I just
Yep.
wanted to get that last one in. A little extra trip bazinger for you.
Yeah,
Let's go to our
I'm a foodie.
closeout. Yeah, I know, and you love traveling. You're the
Yeah.
international man of mystery. Let's close
Hey,
out with the same segment we do every episode. That is our transfer plans and captaincy shouts.
did you like
What's your plan?
Dan's shout the last couple pods? He did a pretty good job. He brought the energy in one of them,
He
and
he
another one
brought the
was
energy. The second one, I was like, oh man, these guys need some Bucks coffee barista services over here. But he's doing his best. Listen, we're gonna turn him into a full on brutish American after all. Don't worry.
Yeah, all right. Let's run through your team. You're set on bench boost? You and I
I
are
am
both
set on
bench
bench
boost buddies.
boost. Yeah, I'm going to be captaining Holland. I'm pretty straightforward here. I'm either going to use one free transfer for sure, Bruno to Saka. I've pretty much made up my mind that that's the move I'm going to make rather than bring in a second Arsenal or third Arsenal defensive asset. I have tons of money in the bank. I have like 2.7 million burning a hole in my pocket. So, I don't like that. I like to get the transfer moves made. I haven't made it just yet, so I have practiced a little bit of patience. Now, the other move I'm considering is Romero. He's priced like a semi-premium. He's at 5.1 million. They play Villa, and then the fixtures are just not great. They're away, I think, 3 of the next 4. He was flagged at one point, then he got a 1-pointer. He could easily be Munoz, but I don't love the Palace fixtures either. So I'm thinking I'm going to back my gut and either bring in Cucurella or Chalobah for that awesome run of Chelsea fixtures. I can stretch to get Cucurella, and that seems like the more fun pick. I'm going around with propaganda on all our text threads saying how he's the best left back in the world. It would be a little shameful for me to not bring him in instead of bringing in Trevor Chalobah. So I'll probably go Saka and Cuckoo in for Romero and Bruno out.
Is that, you don't have enough money for that, do you?
I do.
You have money in the bank?
I have more than enough. Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know you left that much money in the bank because I'm like both those players are more expensive.
Yeah, it would be leaving me, I think, with like 0.3, which then would bring in Cole Palmer if and when he's fit, or bring Mo Salah back, a 2-move maneuver. But get bench boost out of the way, get my fun vibes picks in. That's what I'm shaping up to do.
I already thought you had Saka for some reason, so this is
No, if you remember, I went Foden last second. I tricky dicked you on that one. It didn't work out quite according to plan, but we'll see.
You haven't been on the pod in a couple of weeks, so I forgot what your game week 6 wildcard ended with. All right, cool. Bench boost, we're hoping for 12 to 16 points. Be happy with that?
Nah, give me more. 15 to 18. I'm getting greedy.
Yeah, I'll take 12. I think it could be worse. So
listen, I got my bench boost is going to feature 4 guys from the 3 newly promoted teams, so it could easily be a 5-point bench boost. What do I know? Man. I'm just speaking it into existence. I'm just hoping,
actually, like, if I could just get 0-0s, I'd be fine with that, right? Like 2 clean sheets, 2 pointers, 16 points.
Nah, I want a DCL. Yeah. I want a DCL attack and return. I might even be crazy enough to put a small little wager from my kids' college fund on that one.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. We'll discuss it before the weekend. Taking a look at my team, pulling my team up on screen one last time here. So this is the bench boost squad. Right now, I have Stash. I have Alderete versus Wolves. I have Dubravka. And then I think I have some other guy, Foster. So
yeah, you have Foster.
Kind of invested in Burnley to churn out some kind of result. whatever. I can't.
I don't love
can't
that.
wait.
I don't love
I
that.
can't wait to be into a 4-5-1 or a 5-4-1 in next game week. I will definitely be ripping out Richarlison soon. So I just need to hear some team sheet news on Richarlison. Is Richie going to start? I kind of need him to for my bench boost. If he's going to get a 1-pointer, I'm just like up in the air if like I want to move him to somebody like Thiago. I can't afford Voltemade, who I wouldn't hate to have this match. Newcastle playing Brighton, but I think I might just roll with the 1-pointer and just roll the transfer if we're going to see. I have 3 right now. I'll probably roll the 4, and then I'm looking at moving two players for either going to again that 5-4-1 or 4-5-1 the week after. So that's me.
Oh, interesting, dude.
Yeah.
You got to use a transfer if you're going to bench boost. Why not?
Maybe we'll see. I just don't know if it's worth it, right? Like I want eventually. I'd rather go Richarlison to GUI and then upgrade Stash to somebody like Eze or another 7.5 midfielder.
Sure.
That just seems better. I don't have Gabriel. That's also like under consideration. Like I could move my 4-0.
Would you not move Senesi to Gabriel? You have money for that?
No, I got 0.1 in the bank. I got no money.
Ugh.
So it's got to come out of the Richarlison slot. So that's where I'm at. We'll see how we go. Let's hopefully get I expect on bench boost for both of us to get like 1 million plus green arrows. Like,
can I ask you a silly question? Can you afford to do Richarlison to Isidore? He's the striker for Sunderland.
What is he like 5'5" though? I'm trying to like go like all the way to GUI.
I know, but I'm just saying for some. I think that the issue with bench boost with a team like yours is, I have the same challenge. I'm not sure Bournemouth are keeping a clean sheet, right? And then you have Anderson. He's on Fulham. He's not keeping a clean sheet against Arsenal.
Oh yeah, he's getting a 2 or 3 pointer. I don't mind though. I just want to get rid of the chip so I can start to funnel more money into my starting 11.
Yeah, that's fair. How many more that's why I want to be pragmatic, and I know Dan is like shouting from that. He's on my right shoulder right now. He's like, Bucks, patience is the way. Like young Padawan, you got this. This is different game. No hits, bank transfers. He's telling me all the right things, and I'm like, well, if I want to play my own game, then I'm just going to use these fucking transfers. Let's go. So I have 3 of them also, and I'm like, I'm going to get 5 of them in 2 months. Let's go. Use them.
All right. Well, bench boost, we better get green arrows. But that's a wrap, Bucks. Let's get out of here. Thank you very much for joining us, everyone. A lot of stories out of the London trip for me, but glad to be back in the saddle. Football will be back very soon. And we won't even get into our gripe with World Cup ticket pricing.
Embrace
and everything else.
The chaos. More footy is more fun here in the States, and we are absolutely leaning into it at the right time. I can't wait for a really fun Premier League filled weekend. It's so good being back on this lovely, humble podcast with you, Brian. And we're now taking over the YouTube. You have to see my face each and every week now. Sorry, guys. I am back and better than ever. I am a little tan, but I'm still.
You lost a couple of hairs, though. You pulled out.
I'm the whitest shade of Casper White, even with the tan. It is. It's not getting better than this. Sorry.
All righty. Best of luck. Green arrows to come, and we will catch you next week for the Game Week 9 preview. Peace.
Follow us on social
at FPL USA. Press play. Let's go.
Woohoo!